I would consider enrolling them in an ADHD, ADD trial. Both of my children are ADD, ADHD, and I just think it would be fabulous just to have working with professionals and having the resources and just knowing the medication and how it's going to help my child.
Explain how you felt when your child was diagnosed with ADHD.
When my child was diagnosed with ADHD, it just was gut wrenching. I felt like I had done something wrong in my pregnancy. I really wanted to blame myself, and then I was looking to blame anything. I felt so horrible for my child. I felt like I let them down as a parent, that I had done something wrong. So it was a very difficult diagnosis to embrace.
How has this diagnosis affected your lives?
Well, having two children with ADD and ADHD, it really kind of turned our world upside down. And it was very difficult. You feel like you're constantly explaining yourself and your children's behavior to other people. And people don't know really what ADHD is or ADD is. And they really think that it really isn't a true diagnosis, and they think you can just flip a switch and they can turn off and on their behavior, and it just isn't like that. And I think it's really made us a lot more aware of just a lot of the idiosyncrasies that all of us have, and we're much more in tune to what's going on around us, and kind of being can't think of the word I'm looking for, but just not tiptoeing around, but just we tend to view things differently and really appreciate things more as a family, and I think as individuals. And I have a lot more respect for my children, and knowing just the hardship that they're going through, and as an adult I'm understanding what's going on, or learning to understand. I can't imagine what they're going through, and especially being bullied at school, or so it's been a life-changing experience for us, and very, very not time consuming, but just it's not easy.
What are some challenges your family has endured which makes you consider enrolling in a clinical trial?
Well, getting in to see different doctors. Every doctor, although they all went to med school, they all have their own spin on everything. And some doctors just kind of want to write a script just to say, kind of get you off their plate and say, here you go. So I think it would really help with all the guessworking that you do, and being with a professional that is solely really focused on your child, and helping them kind of control their diagnosis, getting to the root of their diagnosis, and maybe really helping them so that they can focus and be better students, and not be yelled at school, and just or not seem like they're the one in trouble all the time. I think that would be a huge benefit. And the cost of all these medications, and just because you're getting a prescription. Let's say it takes a while for you to even see any results of the medication, if it's going to work or not work. And I think that would take a lot of guesswork out of it. And I just think it would be just so much better all the way around for everybody, for our child, for us, for school.
What have you already tried and what medications have been offered?
Well, at first, of course, they always want to try diet. So we had to try diet. We then, I'm trying to think of what else they said other than diet. Cognitive therapy. We did social thinking classes, even kind of role playing classes. I just feel like we've done so much, and also trying other medications. Like we tried Adderall. Well, that was the wrong medication, and kind of made our son irritable. Well, we didn't know that, and we weren't told that was maybe one of the side effects of this medicine. And then, I remember trying Intuniv. Well, it only comes 1, 2, and 3 milligrams. I didn't know, it slows everything down. Well, it knocked our daughter out. I mean, so 2 milligrams wasn't quite enough, but three knocked her out. So I mean, kind of where do you go from there? And it's just such a guessing game, and it's very frustrating. So, and can you imagine, you're the adult, you know what's going on, you're feeling frustrated, imagine what the child's going through. So it's very difficult.
What do you think the benefit would be for your family if you were to enroll your child in a clinical trial for ADHD?
I think the benefit would just be working with these professionals and having them monitor our children, and, just knowing what they know about the condition, and knowing, if the medicine's going to work or if it's not going to work, and just their expertise with the whole diagnosis, I think would be a benefit.
What would deter you from enrolling your child in a clinical trial?
I shouldn't say the only thing, but what would deter me would be the timing factor, because especially with school, they have a difficult time enough as it is, being told they're lazy, they're stupid, sit down, shut up, because it's just a lot of these things that go along with ADHD and ADD. And I think that would deter me, is just, don't think I would want to have it during school. And I don't know if I would have to pull my child out of school, for office visits. That would be my biggest setback, would be the school factor.
Generally, what do you think are the benefits of clinical trials in general?
I think clinical trials are amazing and open up so many doors, for so many people with different diagnosis, and knowing that, there are medicines out there for people that have, whatever ailment they may have. And I think without clinical trials, how would you even know? You wouldn't even know if, there was a drug for ADHD. That ADHD was even a neurological disorder, and people, you'd have that stigmatism that, oh, they can control it. Well, that's not true. You've got things going on in your brain. So I think, without clinical trials, I don't know where we would be with medicine.
What is your perception of clinical trials? Anything else you want to say?
I think, that, like I said before, without clinical trials, I don't know where we would be, as far as moving forward with handling diagnosis with different people, and finding cures. I think they're important to so many people for so many different reasons, and especially for people maybe that might be, on their last leg or whatever, it might give them that little glimmer of hope, and that might even give them, longer to live. I mean, who knows? So I think, without clinical trials, where would we be? So I think they're so important for many reasons.